Hi, welcome to Take a Break, Take a Breath for Monday, March 21st. I'm Rick Boyer, the pastor of Prospect Presbyterian Church in Maplewood, New Jersey. And Take a Break, Take a Breath is an invitation to do just that, to take a break in all the activities of the day and just breathe and center yourself in God who made you and loves you and calls you by name. Each time we come together right now, I've been using stories from the Gospel of Luke and inviting you to see the story or to experience the story in your mind from the perspective of the different characters in the story. Today's story is a story about Jesus and his disciples crossing the lake. And what we need to know is that windstorms suddenly blew up on the lake. They would come very quickly. On the western shore of the lake is a stand of mountains, and there's a pass called Pigeon Pass. And the wind blows through that pass like the wind blowing down the canyon of a city street between all of the tall buildings. And it will come quickly and it will leave quickly. And because the Sea of Galilee, or Lake Gennesaret, is not very deep, it stirs up a lot of waves. And those waves blow up, and then as soon as the wind stops, the lake calms down. So as we enter into this story later, you can be any one of the disciples in the boat. There's not really anybody else you can be in this particular story. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to go to a quiet place in your house. Close the door, if it has a door. Settle into a chair. Feel the support of that chair on the back of your legs. And if it has arms, under your arms. And on your back. Close your eyes and take some deep breaths. As you breathe in the breath of God. And as you breathe out all that separates you from God. As you breathe in the breath of life. And as you breathe out all the things that do not give you life. As you breathe in God's peace. And as you breathe out all of the things that disturb your peace, all of your worries, your fears, your anxieties, anything else that disturbs your peace. And imagine that with each deep breath, your awareness of the Spirit of God's presence with you is growing. And that God's Spirit is renewing you. Imagine it like the renewal that comes from a shower. Only much greater. As the water falls on your head, as the Spirit of God touches your head, your mind is calmed and all the things that have been bouncing around in there are settled. Your brow is relaxed. Maybe you're even reminded of your baptism or the touch of God on your forehead with the mark that you belong to God. And your jaw relaxes. And as the Spirit of God moves down over your neck like the waters of a shower that roll down over your neck, the muscles in your neck unwind and relax. And it feels good. as the Spirit of God moves down over your shoulders and touches your arms and your hands open up and turn them palms up. The muscles are renewed in your shoulders and arms. The Spirit of God touches your back. And as it does so, you feel the burdens being lifted. And the muscles relax. And the pains drift away. And as the Spirit of God rolls down over your chest, your breathing stays deep and steady. And your heart rate is calm and resting. And as the Spirit of God touches your abdomen, any distress that is there in your abdomen is eased and calmed. And then the Spirit of God moves down your legs to the tip of your big toe. The weariness of your legs is relieved. Your feet feel good. The Spirit of God is renewing your body from head to toe. And from the center of all that you are, the parts that you know and the parts that are hidden, to the very outer parts of who you are. Every bit of you is touched by the presence and grace of God. Then in your mind's eye, go to a time when Jesus is crossing the Lake Gennesaret. He invites his disciples to get into a boat and says, let's cross to the other side. So they all get into the boat. And they start to make their way across the lake. Jesus falls asleep. Suddenly a great windstorm comes down upon them, and the waves are breaking over the top of the boat, and the boat seems like it's going to be swamped. And one of the disciples, maybe you, goes and shakes Jesus and says, wake up, wake up. We're going to be swamped. Aren't you afraid? When Jesus wakes up, he looks around and he stands up and he rebukes the wind. And suddenly the wind stops and it is calm. And the disciples are all talking among themselves, who is this that even the wind and the storms and the water obey him? Who is Jesus? That's the question that's raised by this passage. What is Jesus' relationship to creation? how does that fill you with awe and amazement? Does that impact how you pray? I'll be quiet while you and Jesus talk for a bit. And then the time for the conversation to end comes. Two of you ended in whatever way is appropriate. And you allow that image to fade away. And you bring yourself back to the room where you are. When you're ready, open your eyes. Let's take a break, take a breath. For Monday, March 21st, our reading for today was Luke 8:22 to 25. That's Luke 8:22 to 25. If you have feedback for me, or if you would like to talk or pray with me, send an email to rick@prospectchurch.org.